Hi dear students, a warm good morning for today. Today we're going to talk upon a general topic like how to prepare your project work. Firstly, when we prepare a project, we need to have what are you going to work on. It can be of different types, like especially since we are trying to do projects at home, it should be something which is feasible in your environment over there, in your household environment. But always, every experiment that we do should be found to be statistically significant. That is, if you just do an experiment in one single experimental setting, it wouldn't be sufficient enough to give us genuine results. So we should have always replicates of what we do. Now, I'll give you an example. If you are taking the treatment of wastewater, if you take one lot of probably 5 ml of water of that water and do a wastewater treatment, that wouldn't be sufficient enough to give you a statistically significant result. You have to repeat the same remediation of the same water thrice, and you have to make it sure that the result that you get is being found to be genuine. Now, those who are doing with pot culture methods, like I had told you about growth promotion of using growth promotion of plants. If you're doing such an experiment, for every treatment, you should have a control, a triplicate as control. That is, 3 pots should be kept as control. And then if you're giving a treatment, for every single treatment, you need triplicates. So all observation of an experiment is being carried out by maintaining triplicates of that experiment, and then we will see if it is genuine or not, because sometimes things could arise due to error. So you need to plan your experiment in such a way before you start your experiment. Make sure that you have kept respective controls as well as replicates for each and every experiment that you are doing. Now, before you go, you not directly go and enter and start your project. You have to have a basic aim and objective. So before forming your aim and objective, you need to prepare an introduction on what your topic is. That is, what are the different aspects of that particular topic, and you study it by reading different papers. And as well as the same time, you yourself in your words will give a introduction on that particular topic. You can use references when you cite them. Now, if you have now if you're starting on COVID-19 or something, you can write about COVID-19, something which someone else has cited or given you information on. That also can be included in it. So that is the thing of the introduction. Always when you write an introduction, you can include references, but like you have to recite their names. Now, if I am saying David John, okay, David John's experiment in 2009, he found out that plants are growing very fast due to the presence of a compound X. Okay. This is the information which I have. If I am citing it in my introduction, I will write like, okay, it was found by the work of David John that plant growth is promoted by the presence of X, component X. And in brackets, I will write David John and the year. But you need not write always the full name of David John, because always in the scientific field, we always prefer the second name of an author to be cited. So if it is David John, you write John, comma, and which year it is published. So John 2009. This is how you cite it, and when you write which scientist is provided that information. So I'll just repeat. When you write an introduction, you always write it in past tense, because not in all cases. Now, for example, corona is a dreadful disease, that can be present tense, but always try to use the same tense which has been present here. But when you go to the next part, the review of literature, you have, if it is something which has already been given earlier, it's always good to write it in a past tense. But if it is still existing, you write it in a present tense. And at the same time, what is it? If you're giving some information based upon previous studies, what you do is you will cite the scientist's name also. Now, if it is, as I mentioned earlier, the work of, it was, or just write a line like this: it was proved that the compound X was being found to be growth promoting for the plant tritium, okay, or for the wheat seedlings. If in that line, the person who found that, it's just a hypothetical situation that I'm telling you. If it is David John was the scientist who named it, I will put in brackets John 2009. That is when you have a single author. Now, if you have two authors who have been done, who have worked for it, what is it? You will take the second name of both the authors. Now, so you will write in brackets John and Thompson 2009. And if the work of more than two people have been contributed to that information, you write it as John et al. 2009. So this is how you write when you prepare your project, okay, in the introduction. If you are incorporating references also to what you say, you have to make sure that you cite the scientists who have contributed to that also. So during a project, we have your aim, and then comes to the you have the introduction. The second part comes to the aim and objective. You got an idea about how to write the introduction. It should be written in different paragraphs, giving a flow that is leading us into that particular topic. And always try to write in your own words. Do not just cut and copy paste it from any other paper, because that is not the way how you need to do it. You need to write it in your own words. And you might have a doubt that grammatical errors can come, but you need not worry. You write it in your own words. You can give a grammar check online. So all the mistakes that you probably can arise, which can probably arise due to your grammatical mistakes, could be altered or could be changed by the help of grammar check software. So that's one thing. And if you cut, copy and paste others' work, we call it as plagiarism. That is, you're stealing someone else's language and everything. You need to write it in your own language. Try to do it. It will improve. That's how it improves always. And no need to, and if you don't find any words which you want, like in your mother tongue, you might know a word and you might not the correct word of it in English. You have Google Translate and all that, which will help you translate also your specific words. So softwares are quite helpful right now when you want to write your thesis. So try to be genuine when you're writing your introduction. So first we had the introduction, and second one is the aim and objective. In the aim and objective, normally you write things in bulleted forms. So you write the project entitled so and so was done with the following aim and objectives. You can put in bullet marks: to isolate the organisms from the soil. Second point, to characterize them biochemically. Second objective. Third objective, to identify them taxonomically, or the taxonomic identification of the microbe, of the selected microbe. Like that, different objectives can be planned based upon what you have to do. I guess you got an idea about what is introduction, and what is your aim and objective. Then after that, the third portion of your project, it mainly includes the review of literature. It is something very much important, because before you start your work, you need to find out what all information or what all experiments have been carried out on your topic of interest previously. And that will in fact help you to frame your experimental path also. So now, how do you get the review of literature? You can either go to Google and Google Scholar also. If you go to Google Scholar, you get more scientific information on that. Give a Google search on that, on your topic. You get different papers. Okay, and you take different papers, you read on them, read on those papers. Even if you're not able to read the whole paper, you can just read the abstract and find out what is the core content of each and every paper. And you need to report it. You know what is reported speech? Okay, that is, we write it in the past tense. When we report some events, what do? You write it in the past tense, and you say that it was being found that, or you can write like the causative agent of this particular, of the outbreak in 2009 was COVID-19. You can report it like that. That is in past tense. Or in the work of so and so person, they found out it is this. Like that, you report it in your review of literature. In review of literature, it is a must that you should always have the scientist, the name of the scientist who has contributed, as well as the year with which it was published. That is a must. In the case of introduction, you can omit if you want what is the scientist's name and all that. You can omit it. But in the case of review of literature, you should have the contributing author's name as well as the year. You need not copy always the abstract as such like that. You just have to read the abstract and write what is their conclusion or what is the main core part of that particular paper in 1 or 2 lines. That's more than enough. Because the more you write, like the page number of the project also increases. But it's not of much importance. You need to know the core part of that particular paper. And regarding how many reviews or how many reviews you have to do, it depends upon your skill. The more you read, the more ideas you get on that particular topic, and the loopholes regarding your project will be found to be reduced when you have more information on that. And in the coming session, I will be giving you a more clear-cut idea on how to write the review of literature. Thank you for now.